Buongiorno. First full day in Italy. Yesterday was a madhouse. Getting here, getting settled, and now we're about to take our train into Venice for the day. We're a little late. We wanted to get going about an hour ago, but it was what it is. We're on vacation, so let's enjoy our train ride into Venice and go explore all there is in Murano and Burano. All right, well, good morning from Venice. We are on day 2 of our Italian adventure. We're about to go right over here and get our Vaporetto pass for the next 2 days because we are going to go around and explore Burano and Murano today, and then tomorrow we'll be doing like the St. Mark's Square area and everything. So let's go enjoy a full day in Venice. Let's see what we can accomplish and experience throughout our day today. Let's go. It's a beautiful Sunday in November, which means one thing: everyone is out. Grab your Alilaguna tickets at the counter or save time and buy them in line in advance. Either way, build in extra time and bring your patience because the lines are real. Now here's what you need to know before you go. The Alilaguna stops at Murano first before continuing out to Burano. So even if Burano is your destination, you're passing through Murano either way. Which brings me to a tip I wish we'd had. If live glass blowing is on your list, those demonstrations happen earlier in the day. It might be worth making a quick stop in Murano before pushing on to Burano. We saved it for the way back. You'll have to tune in to see how it worked out. All right, welcome to Burano. We're going to explore this incredible, colorful, Instagram-worthy island in the city of Venice. I'm really excited to bring this to you. This is where true Venice starts to really shine. It shows all its flavor, all its uniqueness, and the pictures and the colors and the houses here are amazing. It's far less crowded. Yes, you have some tour groups, but it's nowhere near like center of Venice. Not to mention they're known for their lace here, so we're definitely going to check some of that out. And of course, probably find some good gelato and coffee as we explore. So let's go check out Burano. On this beautiful, gorgeous, sunny day. We couldn't have asked for a better day, but you do have to pack your patience when you're getting here. It did take us probably a good 2.5 hours to get over here. So just so you're aware of that, pack your patience. The Alilaguna is convenient, but it is time consuming. So it will take you a while to get over here. But I am so excited to show you Burano. Let's go check it out. I thought I knew what to expect. I had seen the pictures, but nothing, and I mean nothing, prepares you for the moment Burano actually opens up in front of you. The colors are almost too vivid to be real. Every single building its own shade, its own personality. It's like someone handed an entire island a paint palette and said, "Go wild." Now, Burano is absolutely a popular day trip from Venice, and rightfully so. But here's what surprised us. The further we wandered from the main drag, the quieter it got. There were moments, whole stretches of street, entire little squares, where it felt like we had discovered something that hadn't been put on a map yet. Just us, the canals, and those colors. That's the thing about Burano. Yes, it gets visitors, but it never felt crowded in the way the center of Venice can. It felt lived in, genuine, like a real community that happens to also be one of the most photogenic places on Earth. The best part is getting lost in the tiny little alleyways throughout Burano. It's just magical. You think you're lost and then suddenly there's gelato. If you ever find yourself debating whether Burano is worth the journey out, it is. 100 times it is. Give yourself time to get a little lost there. That's where the magic really happens. Ciao bello Burano. Off to Murano. Right, we are trying the little Murano tiramisu here. It's original, made here in Murano, so we're going to try this out. It looks delicious. We just got one because we want to have gelato and other things later. So tried one and then we'll go from there. So let me take a bite here and see how this is. I mean, look at this. Isn't that incredible? Oh, it's so yummy. It's so light. It's like a whip. And then the ladyfinger in there. Oh my God, incredible. Okay, way different than what they have back in the States. So you're just going to have to come to Venice, take the little taxi ride over Alilaguna over here to Murano and get yourself one of these, because this is what tiramisu is. That stuff at home is just, it ain't the same. All right, so welcome to Murano. What is Murano known for? It is known for its hand-blown glass making all over Venice. It's Venetian glass, you've heard it called, but this is where it's made in Venice, on the island of Murano. So we're gonna wander around, look at some of the glass shops. Hopefully we'll get to find a glass blowing demonstration. We are a little later in the day, so I'm not sure if we'll be lucky enough to catch that. And of course, if we happen upon a gelato or some macchiato, we're going to stop and get that as well. But look at how beautiful this is. This is where true Venice comes alive. Murano, Burano, these are a great combination to do for a day trip, because you can get out of the chaos of Venice, of center Venice, and really just enjoy this beautiful, tranquil island. Murano has been the glass capital of the world for over 700 years, and the story behind it is fascinating. In 1291, Venice was a city built almost entirely of wood, and glassmakers' furnaces kept setting it on fire. So the Doge issued a decree. Every glassmaker had to move here to Murano. But it wasn't just about fire safety. Venice had a glass-making secrets so valuable that isolating every artisan on one island meant they could control exactly who knew what. Sharing those secrets abroad was, at one point, punishable by death. That legacy is everywhere you look. And yes, we were too late for a live demo, which is exactly why I told you, get to Murano early if that's on your list. Lesson learned. Next stop, Center Venice. Back in Venice just in time for Aperitivo hour, and we stumbled into one of those places you couldn't have planned if you tried. Bacaro al Momoletto de Levoi. A tiny, lively bacaro tucked into the Cannaregio neighborhood, packed with locals and a few lucky tourists who found their way in. This is where we discovered Cicchetti, pronounced Chzhed,
Cicchetti, Venice's version of small bites. Little pieces of bread topped with things like creamed salt cod, sardines, olives, octopus. Simple, fresh, and absolutely incredible, paired with a glass of local wine. If there's one thing you add to your Venice itinerary, make it this.
So as you can see, I got a giant gelato. I wasn't expecting such a giant one, but I got salted caramel and tiramisu, and then they put this cute little thing on it. How cute is that? But this is really authentic. When they have it covered like that, it means that it's fresh and made on site. So look for gelaterias that are covered, not the ones that are out on display. It doesn't necessarily mean that those aren't authentic, but the ones that are covered, they're made in small batches daily, and they have to be kept at a certain temperature. So definitely look for that telltale sign that you got the real deal.
And then there it was, Piazza San Marco, St. Mark's Square, one of the most iconic places on the planet, and standing in it, you completely understand why. Dating back to the 9th century, this square has been the beating heart of Venice for over 1,000 years. The magnificent basilica anchoring one end, the sweeping arcades lining the sides, the towering campanile. Napoleon himself once called it the drawing room of Europe. He wasn't wrong.
Welcome to St. Mark's Square. This is the heart and soul of Venice. Now, it's not really in the center, honestly. It's definitely on the edge, on water's edge, which is why it's so affected by the flooding when it's the high tides that do flood the area. But look at St. Mark's Basilica behind me. This is gorgeous at night. We are going to be here tomorrow morning for our tour of St. Mark's Basilica and then Doge's Palace, which is right over here. And then we might decide to climb the tower because it's got great views of all of Venice. And since they closed the one department store that had really great views just this past October, we might have to decide to go up there. It's going to be sweeping views. Now the weather, we don't know what it's going to be tomorrow, but for tonight, it's been gorgeous all day, sunny, beautiful. Of course, it's cold, it's November, but we've really enjoyed the day. So I can't believe I'm here, standing in St. Mark's Square in the heart of Venice. But this is a beautiful square. Definitely recommend coming down here. Definitely do it at night. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it during the day, but there's no tour groups here. This is just the people staying in Venice, and it's the people that are living in Venice. This is the heart and soul of the city. So definitely take time to enjoy the area. If you're going to eat, I would recommend not eating at these restaurants right behind me here. All of these lining the square, because you're going to pay a premium price for the view, and the food's it'll be okay, but it's not going to be the real stuff. Wander into the little alleyways throughout Venice and find yourself a place that just speaks to you and hop in. We found that great gelateria just doing the same thing, and we found that great wine bar doing the same thing. So now I do need to have some coffee because I haven't had some since breakfast, and I need my afternoon coffee, even though it's like almost 6 o'clock in the evening. So we're going to continue exploring this evening before we head back to our hotel for dinner, and can't wait to keep showing you all the things that Venice has to bring.
And at night, it transforms. The lights come up, the stone glows, and the whole square takes on this electric, almost dreamlike quality. Live music drifts out from the historic cafes that have been here since the 1700s. The crowds thin just enough. If you can only see St. Mark's Square once, see it at night. After a day like this, Burano, Murano, Aperitivo, St. Mark's Square, coming back to Mione Royal San to a beautifully presented multi-course gourmet dinner felt like the most perfect ending imaginable. Every dish was incredible. This is the kind of meal that reminds you why Italian food has no equal. Full hearts, full plates, full day. Ready to plan your own Italian adventure? Links are below. Let's make it happen. Next time, rain delays cause us to almost miss our tour, but we catch up with Doge's Palace just in time. Then Venice reveals its magical side with a hidden gem bookstore like I've never seen before. You're not going to want to miss it.
Where are we going next? Let's go.